He's taking a shower and looking over your shoulder at the same
Uh-huh.
time.
Yeah, I'm in the bathroom. Did you hear
Post,
the echo?
posted up in the bathroom.
Yo, man, I gotta get my bro covered.
I know. From where else are you going to play from, right? Best seat in the house.
I figured he was gonna play with us or something.
He might. I think that he doesn't want to get into it because Liz isn't here.
Well, it doesn't matter if she is or isn't. you know. But we got extra characters rolled up too, just in case someone wants to jump in.
Cool. I think it's good. I appreciate you guys waiting for me. I know it was kind of a pain in the ass for me to make a time and then suggest a time and then dip out for an extra couple hours. So I do apologize.
All right, I'm gonna send over this little command y'all probably should create. All right, so that /die space 1D100 space percent. Type that out and then drag that onto that number 1 slot on your toolbar on the very bottom. This makes it a lot easier whenever you have to roll for willpower or fellowship or coolness or something like that. And then also on your character sheets, when you go to your stats, you got your starting, your advanced, and then your current. You got to make sure you put your totals on the current line, or else you're not going to have the quick access for the quick rolls.
So do you have just your totals, right?
Yeah.
So you add your starting and your advanced.
Right. I think I did both of yours guys already.
Okay. Did you, whenever you took some skills away, did you fix any of the advanced stuff that I might have gotten?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Let's see. Yep.
Now the only thing I couldn't do, man, is under the combat. I couldn't add body or arm, like left arm, right arm.
All right. You have to go to the inventory section.
I did that.
And
I have the stuff marked
as equipped.
Oh no.
And also when you create the item, in the properties of it, you can select if it's armor and how much it gives you and stuff like that.
So I've got knife. Is weapon. Is melee weapon. Where's the equip checkbox? Oh, I see it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm dumb.
Use under damage, you just put in there what kind of dice you use, like a D6 or a D4 or whatever it is. Alrighty, so the story kind of just throws everyone in there, kind of, but we'll see if we can make some bullshit up here. I'm gonna see if I can bring up a map here of the city, share it with y'all. Alrighty. I don't know how to pronounce this, but this is the city of Ammerheim. Heim. Yeah. There's actually a lot of modules that go with this city and stuff, so that's where I stole the map from.
Here's the beauty of it. If you have it however you pronounce it, that's the way it's supposed to be pronounced.
ABCs. Alright, everyone can hear me just fine, right?
Yep.
Okay. Alright. Yeah. Alright, this city is normally alive with motion. People going about their day-to-day. Vendors cover the sides of the streets of the main roads, or cover the main roads, with their mobile shops and rickety old makeshift stalls. You arrive in this town in the dead of night, but the sky seems pretty lit up. There's a heavy fog that diffuses the light, making it difficult to tell where the light is coming from. A echoing metal bending sound can be heard up above. There's nobody on the streets. The fog makes it very hard to see, but you can make out some lights up ahead. You can see that the gas lamps that they have on the streets are very lowly lit, like they're really dim. It seems to be done on purpose of some sort, because all the light posts are like that. And we'll just put it where you guys were all traveling together when you all arrived at the city. And
what's the main business like? Is there like a shipping export, like farming? Do you know?
Yeah,
Like
this
what the main kind of industry is.
yeah, this city, basically this river, the river of Aber, it goes out to a I guess a lake, you'd say, and not a lake, an ocean, and that's where all the trade and stuff comes through. So this place is used a lot for like cattle and stuff like that, and they trade from here to there. And I mean, it's a good sized town. If you look at the picture there, there's all kinds of different guilds here and stuff.
So did we come in from the water, or did we come in from...
You guys came in from the well, you know what? Let me see if I can put a token down here or a pin or some shit. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if y'all can see that O. So that's the entrance. Basically, when you showed up, there's guards posted, but the lights were really dim, and you didn't see anyone. And as you passed through, nobody even bothered you.
So as we're walking in, I've got this set of dice, right? And it's my lucky dice. I'm rolling in between my fingers and just looking at the guards. And I can't wait to make some coin back after that last fiasco. I can't believe I let it all just slip through my fingers. As I say that, I flip the dice up and just grab it out of the air, put it back in my pocket. We need to find us an inn and some marks. We gotta get a little bit of cash. As we walk in, I walk up to one of the guards. I'm gonna ask one of the guards where the closest inn is to the.
Well, when you approach the guard shacks and stuff, you can see that they're kind of huddled in the very back corner, kind of afraid to come towards the windows.
I look sideways at my companions.
And it's also like 3 a.m, so it's
Don't be scared. I'm hungry. Let's go.
like who goes there?
Travelers? Who goes there? Are you guards? Are you Mike?
What are y'all doing out this late?
Well, they are guards for me. I'm the great Dartavius, and I whip out my musical instrument, and I'm like, yes, I play the music while they play some game.
Do you start stroking the guitar or anything, or?
Oh, I stroke.
One of the guards runs up to you and tries to, basically stop you from making more noise. He's like, "Quiet! They'll hear you."
Hey.
And at this time, above you, in the dark, the thick fog, you can see what looks like 3 little orbs of light way up in the sky, just floating above. 2 of them are like white lights, and the other is like this little red light. The guard, looks up, sees that, and goes, "Oh crap!" And then he kind of just runs back inside and goes back to his corner.
I
don't
move
know.
and follow the guard.
All right, what's up?
I'm gonna go ahead and follow the guard inside. I'm gonna follow his line of sight up and see stuff in the sky and just go, just walk into the guardhouse after.
All right, so you walk into the guardhouse.
Same here.
Yeah, I just casually shrug my shoulders and follow.
Alrighty. As
we get inside, by the way, I immediately pin the guard to the wall and I say, "What the fuck is going on?"
It's the walkers. You must watch out for them. They come out at night in this thick, dark fog. You just gotta make sure they don't see you. What are y'all doing here, anyways? At this late hour?
I'm traveling. I came to make some coin. What else do people do when they come to a town of trade?
I guess that's to be expected. Guess you're not aware of what's been going on here.
How long has this been happening for?
All these things only come out at night, and it's been going on for about 2 months now.
Every night?
Every other night, I guess you would say. But basically the fog rolls in real thick, and then these things just walk around the city.
Has anything
Oh, yes, we had I want to say, like not a legion, but a fuck ton of dudes. I guess you would say like a 3 platoons worth of soldiers that confronted one of these, and, well, they were dealt with quickly, and none of them made it out alive. It's like these
Right.
things are just looking for something.
That is unsettling, to say the least. Do they have coin on them?
We've never actually seen them. They've always been in this fog. We know they walk around the city on what seems to be really long tentacles of some sort, stomping around in the alleyways, streets, sometimes atop of buildings even.
Do I get any magical sense from these?
You can roll intelligence there to see if you can sense something. Do you have magical sensing abilities or anything like that, or arcane lore? Alrighty.
He's a magician. Of course he has magical sense.
I don't even know what anyone is yet. Oh, that's right, he's a seer. He sees shit. You sense that there's a very powerful energy source that's housed somewhere above that's moving around with these lights, and that this power source is of great power.
So real quick, I did. Steve just said something that it's probably a very good point. Do we want to do quick introductions to our characters for each other?
The guards are like, there is an inn up ahead if you all want to make your ways there. You'll be safe there. Just be quiet and tread lightly.
The only option we have is to figure this shit out as we go.
Yeah, pretty much.
So just real quick out of the campaign. So Alice is just a gambling rogue. Simply just moves from town to town looking for the next easy score. Doesn't really like to be out in the open, but certainly seems to be lucky enough to make coin, but unlucky enough to lose it shortly afterwards, mainly because of just poor decision making.
We could say that you guys were all traveling together, so at this time you were able to acquaint each other, get each other's acquaintance, I guess.
Sure, sounds good. I'm Dartavius, and I'm a fucking seer. That's useless right now.
So both of y'all human or what?
Yes, human.
Well,
Human male, about 33 years old, 6'1", and
Okay.
I'm an
Yeah.
elf.
Oh, so you and I might not like each other very much, but
oh,
that's okay.
are you a dwarf?
Yes.
Nice.
I am a gelfling, if you remember those.
Oh
But
shit,
yeah,
Gelfling.
Yeah.
The crystal.
Yeah, there you go. But, I still like shiny things, mainly made into weapons, to hit weapon variety. But I follow our nice human fellow companion here for the gleam and riches. So, gold, silver, whatever. I'm a tunnel fighter, so, yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's probably come up a couple of times that there have been some inconsiderate remarks between the two of you. That's gonna be fun. All right. So, anyways, we probably should have done that initially, but didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm traveling with a dwarf. Of course I don't think about it.
All right. So we were in the Garchak. He just said that there's a inn down the road.
Yes, there's a inn. I guess if I put the little icons, gonna be right around there. That's where the inn's at.
Well, I'm sure some of us can make it down there safely, while others will stay.
I'm just gonna as I as we get this information from the guard, I ask him if there's anything in between here and there that any known sightings tonight. Like, have you guys seen anything tonight since you guys have been huddling in this corner like not guards?
Well, we know that there's at least 3 of these things out there, and they're huge. Their, I guess, foot span can cover several houses. So.
Okay, so yeah, don't fucking get caught.
How far away were they when we jumped inside?
From the estimation, let's see if I can. I keep hiding my tokens here.
We can still see the one.
Yeah, I'm gonna try a little bigger one here. For like general area, you'd say something was around here, and as you came in at the guardhouse, you can tell that it kind of moved somewhere around here. But it's way up in the clouds. It's very foggy. But the whole sky is kind of like lit up, like when you turn your brights on in the fog, it's just you can't see shit. So that's kind of like the whole town is covered in this white, glow. So it's very hard to see anything. But I mean, you could still see the roads and make it out some,
Does anybody else? I'm sure that other people have dark vision, especially Tunnel Fighter. But
elves have
Octavius,
it.
You do have it.
The only one you probably should worry about is the human.
Yeah, I know I'm the woman, but I have dark vision 10 feet though.
Oh shit! The hell that come from?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I suppose, gentlemen, that the only choice we really have is to either stay here huddling like cowards, or continuing on to see if we can make it. I mean, I certainly haven't heard of Night Strider.
Say Night Strider?
Whatever they're called.
Sounds like Knight Rider.
Did they make any noises there?
Yes.
Sight the only way.
You can hear noises, but the noise is so loud it echoes like through the whole town. It sounds like metal sliding and rubbing against itself. Like the. Brrr.
Do we hear anything right now?
Yes, you hear that constant like noise of rumbling up in the sky. But it's like, I guess it's can't really pinpoint exactly where it's at. But the little orbs that you saw.
Before this happened. Guard, before this happened, was there any kind of? Did it just start out of the blue, or was there anything that premeditated this whole fiasco?
Just one day the fog rolled in, and these things started walking in.
Do we know how they detect people? Sight, sound, smell?
They have these lamps of some sort that are shining onto the floor, and you can kind of see the beams of light as they search and scan the area. Just stay away from the red one.
The red beam of light?
Yes, that's what did all the guards in.
Can these things see into structures?
Not that we can tell. It seems to be only when you're out. That's why we have a curfew set right now. As soon as dusk falls, everyone goes inside.
Well,
in the morning they'll be gone though. As soon as the sun comes up, they vanish along with the fog.
gentlemen, do we stay here for the evening until the morning comes, or do we make haste into the city into our most likely imminent demise?
Yeah, I don't see myself
I've seen-
sleeping here with ships from
Mind you, you're a dwarf.
It's a nice aroma. Used to it.
Guards are, if you'll huddle against the walls, you're fairly safe as long as you move within the shadows.
Artavius, what say you?
What's that thing I circled and I'm pointing to? Is that like portcullis or?
I do not see your circle. Let me see if I can give grant permission.
That's fine. Just go to the left of the screen to the next little road that goes in there. It says to black something.
This one?
Blackfire Pass.
Over here?
Yeah.
Over here?
From the outside?
From the outside?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So basically you pass what looks like is the horse stables. I think. Let me see. 11 tells you what it is. Garden of Moor. I guess whatever the hell that is. This is the garden. Alright. The other guardhouse, kind of a similar scenario where the guards, these are very small shacks. These are like what you see where you pick up tickets and stuff like that at a stall or something, you know. So like a single person could sit inside. There's one on each side, and the guards are in there kind of like sitting down on a bench, kind of covered up with a poncho of some sort. Again, their lights are real lowly or lightly dimmed.
I wonder, and I'm gonna ask these guards, as I I'm not gonna do that. So I kind of faintly knock, just very lightly on the door before I come in. And I don't wait for a response. I just kind of knock lightly and then step inside.
Oh shit! Who's that?
Shh, 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 shh. Quiet. You know the same things we know. We just came from the main gate, and we were told about these entities doing God knows what in this. Something I thought about between there and here. Do they just stay inside the city walls? Do they roam?
They roam.
Outside.
They roam inside the city.
But they don't go outside the city.
They don't. Not that I've seen.
Have they been seen all the way to the other side of the river?
No, they don't cross the river either. Seems whatever it is they're doing, it's within these walls.
Artavius, man, I say we just camp outside the walls tonight.
I want to see what happens. I'm gonna go over that other guardhouse where the two are,
Mm-hmm.
and I relay to the rest of the dudes until the dwarf he's a sissy, and then I play some loud ass fucking music, and then run over to the other guardhouse where the other ones are huddling
Oh shit!
in the shadows.
Okay.
See what fucking happens.
As soon as I see him take off, I just look at Matt and I think we should follow him, and I just take off running as well.
All right, the guards in the shack are. What are you doing there, Mad?
I'm being bad, just grunting and following.
All right, so you all just made a lot of noise over there and then ran off.
As silently as possible.
The guards are like, "Oh shit! Gotta get out of here! Run!" They kind of run towards the exit and try to run down the streets. At this time, that echoing metal-sounding noise gets louder and louder, and up above you see these orbs kind of shine light down onto the roads and start scanning the area where the guardhouse is at.
I try to catch up to Dartavius and I say, do you think we should stop into this garden here, or can we make it all the way? If we make it all the way, we won't be able to see what happened.
Yeah, so where do y'all want to post up? There's a little bush right there.
Yeah, let's fucking. I'm stopped there, and I'm like, yeah, let's do that shit. What?
Yeah, I'm just gonna hide in the garden then and try to stay low key, but watch what's happening.
All right. One of the guards tries to run out of town, and in the open there. The other ones kind of ran through the back to an alleyway and down the road. The one that's basically ran out into the road, kind of where you guys, in the direction y'all went. You see this little like red little dot, pop up on the floor and kind of just start snaking its way towards the guard. The guard's trying to scramble and stuff, looking behind him as the lights, the big bright lights, kind of focus on him, and he starts running off into the field. The little red light finally catches up with him, and he just freezes, still, like without moving, and kind of like he's scared shitless. And then a moment later, a bright flash of red light just shines upon it and leaves a giant searing mark on the floor, and the guy is gone. The
Yeah.
the thing in the skies, the orbs are still scanning the area. 3. Alright. The lights shine over the garden section. Was anyone hiding in the garden section?
Maybe.
Alrighty. I'm going to need to do a concealment stat. So I guess, what are we going to use for concealment here? We normally use Dex for stuff like that.
Okay.
Alrighty, we'll go with that.
Just click it.
Alright. I take
So
it.
wait, how do you roll the actual concealment? You click the number and pull it, like the dex check, like.
Yeah, you double click it on the where it says current, and it should roll it.
Okay,
There it
that's,
is.
That's the actual double checking it. So I failed. Shit. Shit.
Yeah, mine's only a 14.
Alright, you had rolled a 15 before, but which one do you want to go with?
So that 15, that was me hitting the die
do 10s.
1d100.
Uh,
So
yeah.
they both fail technically because my dex stat is 39.
eh?
According to this, it says dex. Well, so wait.
Well, first one
You
shows.
try to get under?
Yeah, you try to get under.
Oh, fuck you first.
Yeah, that's what I said. The first one says 15. Alright.
I'm used to having to meet or beat the DC check.
The kind of lights that hover right over your area, illuminating everything. You can feel a real strong heat with this light, almost as if the moisture is being drawn out of the, out of everything around you, kind of becoming kind of steamy, kind of hot and stuff. You can kind of guess now where all this fog is coming from.
Is it like killing the garden fauna flora as it passes over?
If you could probably tell that if it was to stay there for a while, it would probably brown the grass. The lights kind of scurry over the area. They see nothing, and they kind of go back over the gate and past the wall again. You can hear the giant thumps as something moves in the background. One fairly close, two other pretty far away.
And so I can't see anything. There's no like perception check or anything like that where I could try to like determine the direction of that footfall that's close.
You can attempt to if you want to go ahead and roll intelligence.
Can we get the little symbol up to see where that light thing is at and where he goes?
Like the general location?
Yep.
I'm making these really big just to give you, like, we don't know exactly because it's kind of fogged up. Somewhere around there.
But I can't determine exactly where it's at.
No.
Do I see Artavius or Mad right now?
I'm taking they're concealed behind a bush. But within a few moments, this thing kind of moves away and back into the city.
But he did kill somebody outside the city though, so they're not limited. They're just not straying outside. What's that area that's between us and kind of to the right along the wall, that kind of town area that's
This one?
outside?
That's just a small farmstead, basically some of the folks that live out there that tend the fields. So it's like little farmhouses,
Okay. I'm gonna make my way over to where that guy got torched.
All right. You approach the area, and basically the grass and everything, grass and stone, and even the sand has been like charred. Where the sand is at, it's like real shiny, almost like glass.
And the guy's there's nothing left of him. There's no metal. There's no nothing.
Not even ash.
Fucking laser sights. All right, I'm gonna make my way back towards the garden and see if I can find Artavius or Matt. I'm quietly gonna like cast around for a few minutes, just being like, guys,
Dudes.
Artavius,
That was awesome.
Dude, it completely, he's gone. Like, he is incinerated 100% gone.
This looks like something I need to show my ex-wife.
Has anybody seen anything like this before? Dartavius, have you ever heard of red light that sets person to ash?
I shall consult the divination bone.
If you want to go ahead and roll intelligence on the divination, this is how well you interpret the bones. All right.
Boned. What's up?
It's boned, yes. This is something unworldly that you've never seen before. Its power is kind of that of what you would expect from a beholder, but beholders aren't that tall. And plus, that's D&D.
A behold what?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like the death ray, I guess you would say.
Well, that doesn't sound pleasant at all.
Sounds awesome.
Hmm?
So my thinking is that if we can get to that inn that he had popped up, even though the guy is still sitting there, maybe I should go over to this portion right over here and play some fucking loud ass music and hide in that rocks over there.
Yeah, but the question is that it's gonna take us forever to get from there to, after we make the distraction. Even if we start running, I mean, we'll be out in the open. I mean, I say, if we try it, we might as well just camp out. I mean, I hesitate even entering the city as tonight.
The guardhouse is open.
Well, if I do it solo over here and then hide in them fucking rocks and shit, or whatever that is over there, then you guys can make your run for the day.
How are you gonna get to the inn?
I will do some crazy shit and make it.
Well, I think that we might be, if we got to get to the end of the night, then what about if we just do the same type of distraction, but do it in an alleyway, or that we can quickly duck into a doorway and then make a beeline through the streets and through the alleys versus.
All right, you guys are still standing at the garden area, I guess,
Standing.
or hiding. All right. I need a perception roll from, I guess, all of y'all.
Which is what?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I guess it's gonna be intelligence. Unless we use coolness. We never use coolness, Alright, so we got Phallus with a success and Matos with a success. Is that the way you say your name? Phallus? Or is it just Phallus?
Palace. There's no F. Call it palace. Like a palace. Like the riches of a palace.
Oh, you should put an H in there and then you can be something else.
Oh.
I'll be calling you Phallus.
Don't call me Phallus.
Alright. At this time, you see what looks like to be a small halfling just run up towards the guard tower there and kind of just start making its way through the streets, hiding against the walls of the shops and stuff as she makes her way up down the street.
Guys, all I'm saying, do you see that halfling?
And you're like,
if that halfling can at least make it on the street, I say we try to go for the alleyway. But Dartavius, if you want to go for it, buddy, you go for it.
I'm thinking that's a good distraction.
Go get that.
I would concur. It's a good distraction.
Which way is the halfling running?
All right, well, I jump out of my little hiding place and I freaking jam on my freaking musical instrument, and I was like, let's roll to the next bush, and I run over here to these.
Okay, I just.
So you made the noise at the first bush.
I run towards the guard shack.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to run toward the guard shack as well.
What's everyone's movements?
3.
3.
But I'm sprinting.
5.
I'm sprinting, so that would be
Doubled. Isn't it doubled? Or is it doubled and a half?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I can go 5 at a normal pace.
All right, so the guys that ran to the guard shack made there without an issue, but you can hear the echoing and that metal bending thing get louder and louder, but this time from 2 different directions. And faintly, you can hear a third. All right.
As we're running towards the guard, or after we get to it, I'm gonna grab a rock. I'm gonna throw the rock back as hard as I can into the guard.
Into the guard shack?
The garden.
Oh. Garden. All right. Let me just find the picture here.
Do we hear any halfling screams yet?
No. The halfling was just one of those things like you can probably make it without issue if you just walked. But where's my picture? It's not here. Hold on. I moved everything into different folders, and now it's like not where I think it's supposed to be at. Oh, there it is. Alrighty. The guys in the shack there, you hear the big old arching metal bending thing up above. The elf that's made it out to the other bushes there, you can see that the fog is kind of slowly going back towards the riverside, so it's kind of at the wall's edge right now. And as the fog kind of clears, one of those things kind of breaks out of the fog and is visible to the elf. I'm gonna see if I can share it to just one person, but I don't think so.
Matt Toaster, close your eyes.
I'm gonna whisper everything that I see to the rest of the party. So
Everyone sees it, I guess.
We're not close to you though.
Yeah, so only the elf sees this giant, I don't know, tripod-looking creature kind of step out of the cloud cover there and hover over the area with its lights beaming down. Its red light kind of pulses on the floor, just scanning the area. As wherever the red pulse goes, you can see that it like browns the grass and browns the pavement as it goes over. You can hear giant clanking noises as you hear like another set of falling foot pads are heard in the distance. The noise above is like now extremely loud. It's almost deafening, and you just hear the clanking of this metal above.
with their attention distracted to that guard tower or whatever, can we slip inside to our alleyway?
You're by yourself. We're stuck but underneath them. Unfortunately, we didn't. We should have followed you. We did not do that.
One of the this one over here, its light focuses onto one of the little houses that are out there, and its red beam kind of engulfs the entire house, and then again another flash, and the entire house section is just like cut out, almost like a fucking slice of cake, and just whatever the light was on is gone now. You can hear some screams off in the distance as well.
I turn to Mad Toast and I just mouth. Oh, fuck.
Well, I guess we're sleeping here after all.
So are they moving away?
Maybe. I'm just rolling. They seem to still be searching the area, and you can hear the screams have stopped now. And the fog is slowly going back, rolling past the part of the guard tower. So now, one of you guys, if you guys are looking out the window of the guard tower, you can probably see one of these giant legs, probably over the roadway.
We really should have followed Artavius.
It's like a metal elephant with 3 legs.
Off in the slowly, I mean, I guess the light of day begins to start shining across, and you can see that the sun is starting to come up, and the fog is kind of rolling back into the north there. And we'll just say the giant things kind of disappeared as the light, the glow of the sun, kind of brightens up the area. The fog now rolls back past halfway through the village or the city.
Do we see them disappear?
They seem like they've traveled with the fog itself. You can still hear the foot thumps in the distance. Like,
Alright, make my way to the inn as carefully and cautiously as possible.
well, it ends right there. Boom.
After waiting a little bit of time, I turn to Mad and I say, "Do you think we should try to go to the inn now, or?"
Sounds like it's over, so maybe we should.
Can I roll an intelligence check, see if I can glean any more information from being able to see these things, see how they move, what they look like, etc.
Sure. I can go ahead and just roll intelligence on it. Yay. You do see one of the places where it stepped, and you can see the indentation of like these three-toed, hole. They look like some kind of claws, almost. They have no like print whatsoever. So whatever it was, it's smooth. So if you reach the end, anyone else? You guys gonna go separately yet later?
Yeah, as we were sitting here, me and Matt are sitting there. We're just gonna kind of wait for a few minutes and then get down to the inn as cautiously as.
As the sun finally begins to peek from beyond the edge of the world there, and its first rays kind of shine upon the walls of the city, you hear what sounds like a giant horn of some sort, like echoing off in the far north. And
So there was a horn?
like a horn, it goes kind of like what a barge would sound like.
How's it go again?
Yeah, like a cow, man. Moo, cuckoo, cuckoo.
Well, that's
No.
no dinner bell, but I think I'm still hungry.
As you get to the inn there, the door's not locked. It's able to come in. People are just laying about. Looks like they're asleep, laying on tables. Some underneath tables, some against the walls, others behind the bar. You can see that there's just a lot of folk here that didn't make it home that night and just decided to huddle here and wait it out. The bartender is also at the bar, but he's passed out, leaning on the bar. The beer wenches, you can tell as well, are passed out, leaning against the post or some shit. So everyone seems to be asleep right now. The big old horn that went off kind of wakes a few people up, and they start to kind of rise and get up.
Is there any like general chatter? Is anybody talking about anything specifically, or is it just kind of a dead and silent?
It seems like everyone's just groggy right now, just getting up, kind of, like, about damn time, Not really. Everyone's kind of real quiet. They're, glad it's over with.
Is there anybody at the bar?
Just there's the bar stools and there's some people there, but they're like asleep with their heads down on the bar. The bartender's also asleep, leaning against the bar as well. And they're all kind of, I guess, waking up as well. So yeah, I guess there's folks there, and they're kind of just getting their shit together, getting up.
I try to mimic the same grogginess, like I came in later and
took a nap. You see the little halfling is also in there, doing the same thing, acting all groggy and sleepy, as if she also spent the night there as well. There's no need for the picture. I just showed the picture for the fuck of it. And I guess the other two fellers walk in as well.
I look at Dartavius and I kind of raise an eyebrow and then walk to the bar and say, "Let's get it."
Bartender's like, good morning. Welcome to what the fuck I call this bar.
It's a good morning.
It's the Upright Pig. Welcome to my inn. What can I get you this morning? As if nothing happened.
I would say that you're entirely too jovial for the situation as I've understood in the last 5 hours, but hell, what do I know? Just an ale.
Alright. That'd be 4 copper. And he slides over a freshly poured ale. Kind of warm, but no refrigeration.
You have any bigger ones?
Yeah. How about I'm gonna give you a double, which was 8 copper.
And some cheese.
And some cheese. Alright, he calls over one of the waitresses there to go in the back and get you some cheeses. We'll just round it off to 1 silver. 1 silver. Yeah, I guess 1 silver.
So hey, by the way, how does it work? Is it tens or hundreds?
It's tens. So 10 copper, silver, 10 silver, gold, 10 gold, platinum.
Got it.
And higher up you go into like stones, like rubies and shit. The folks are now getting up and stretching out and all that, and gathering their stuff. You can hear them murmuring like, "Oh man, I gotta get home now." It's like, "All right, see you tomorrow, Bob," and shit like that. And as they get up and collect themselves and stuff and start making their way out the door.
I come to the realization that I've happened upon a town of idiots, and hopefully these will make people really easy to take money from. So I quickly scan around looking for anybody who might seem a little more flushed with cash, maybe higher class clothes, or some rings on their finger.
Yeah, there are a few folks here that are well dressed. They're just also sitting at tables and collecting themselves. Looks like they're getting ready to go out about their day.
So I pick one out of the crowd and I kind of take my ale and walk over and sidle up next to him and I say, "So how's this been for business?"
As far as I know, everything's going fine. The shops will be opening up soon.
So what I want to do is I want to go and talk to the barkeep and let him know that I'm a traveling minstrel, and I just like to sit around and play some music, get to know some people around town, see what's happening.
Oh, it's like, that sounds fabulous. What is your going rate?
Well, you feed me, you put food on the table, and some ale, and maybe a gold a night, and I'll play a song and keep you guys entertained for a little bit.
So music would be a great change of pace around here. Definitely, you have a job here.
Yes, that sounds great. Let the human make all this damn noise. I'm sorry, the elf. The elf make all this damn noise so those things come back. Whatever. Just sit there and sip my ale and grumble into it.
He's kind of puzzled and he's like, well, you know they only come at night, right?
Yeah, I've been here all night.
Search for first.
What's the problem with the noise, dwarf?
Yeah.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
Alrighty, so I take it you set up a little area and start playing.
Looks like there's a top area with a little dance floor and a table. I set up at that table and got my food and some ale, and I just kind of strum some songs, and I try to get some gossip going, hear what's happening in the town, and keep doing that all day.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you start playing, people start perking up and kind of getting closer and sitting down near your table. People begin to actually walk in at the sound of music and stuff, and something cheerful finally. Unless you're playing some sad shit though. They kind of all come up towards you and start waving and clapping and kind of moving to the music, asking for, what do you call, sir?
I'm called Dartavius.
So as he's kind of getting this going, I'm gonna circle the crowd and make small talk with the majority of the people I see that might be of better dress and station, and see if I can drum up any information in terms of if why everybody seems to be so jovial during the day and then cowering in fear at night.
All right. Well, comes out that basically these things don't seem to mess with you at all unless you're out at night, and as long as you stay indoors, you're perfectly safe, unless too much noise is made.
So I ask if they've ever heard of one of these entities, maybe torching a house.
It's happened from time to time where there'll be an empty lot there the next day, almost as if it was sliced out of the earth. But normally it was due to some loud racket or something.
I finished my mug of ale and I offer it up to put a couple coins into it. I let people watch me put a couple coins into the cup, and then I continue to play and listen to gossip, and I make some small questions about how do kids or whatnot do during the nighttime, if people have been out, if they've seen them, what they look like, that kind of shit.
All right, roll a d4 here. I guess Chad. All right, 4. Okay. Now roll 4 d10s, and this will be how much silver was put into your cup. So there you go, almost 2 gold worth.
Okay. I barter for a generous and very nice room with 2 cots and a roll for the floor.
The barkeep's just excited that there's finally someone here that's playing music and cheering up everyone. So yes, the room is free for you to stay as long as you play during the day.
Awesome.
So I'm just gonna see if I can get people to gamble with me. I take out my deck of cards and I kind of just start doing some flourish shop. I sit at a table with the deck of cards in between us.
Alrighty. Yeah, a few folks come and say, mind if we join you, friend?
Dice or cards? Dice or cards?
We'll go with the cards. Two gentlemen, humans, and a halfling basically sit at your table. And this is a little halfling that you all noticed earlier that night that was running down the street.
Interesting. Is there any anything that's specific about her? Like, is she wearing armor? Is it very just normal clothes, any weapon?
Colorful clothes. She looks well dressed and stuff. She has like a little booklet with a bunch of like pamphlets of some sort in there. She does carry a small short sword on her side. But other than that, I mean, just typical halfling.
As I cut the card deck and start handing out cards, I'm gonna kind of side eye her a little bit and say, "Hey, you look familiar."
This is like trying to think how to say this. Are you guys the assholes that got the guard vaporized?
No. There was a group that came in behind us that were making some noise, and as the guard ran out into the field, they followed the guard foolishly, I might add, and it seems that they've got vaporized with him.
All right. She doesn't really seem too concerned, other than like she kind of, I guess, saw some folks earlier that night.
Alright, so we just play get round of cards. I kind of play the first hand pretty straight without any types of deception.
Alrighty. If you want to just go for, I guess we can bid a D4 gold, and then we'll do an intelligence.
D4 silver.
Silver? Okay, shit. Alright, 4 silver.
Oh, okay, yeah, 4 silver.
There we go.
Right.
It is 4 silver. Alright, 4 silver, and then I guess you want to go against your intelligence? So,
Fine, intelligence.
there you go. Okay, you lost 4 silver.
Well, hold on. What's my...
Well, I don't know.
Wait.
It says intelligence failed. You have 31 intelligence.
So I have luck.
Okay.
It's only D100 rolls. That's a D100.
Yeah, that was a D100 roll, so we'll give you plus 10
so
for
I
that.
can
So
modify by 10%. Yeah. So
yeah,
50.
you'd make it.
No, 30. Yeah, the other direction. 30.
You'd make it be 41 would be your total. So you would have made it there. All right. So we'll get you the 4 silver.
I kind of shuffle the deck again and ask him if he wants to play again.
The halfling and the other 2 humans joining as well. Also, sorry. So it would have been 4 silver for everybody. So what's that? 16, 20 silver. So 2 gold.
All right. And so I just sit and kind of play cards with everybody and just try to keep the conversation going. I'm not trying to be too overboard with the sleight of hand. I don't want to sit here and take up just random dice rolls for a deck of cards for the next 20 minutes.
Outside, you can hear the crowds building up, and you can hear traffic of people moving about, and store keeps shouting out, here, come here, and check my shit out, stuff like that.
Awesome. As people come in, can I see maybe if some of them are shopkeepers, maybe just stopping in to get their morning food or afternoon lunch errand or something like that, and try to haggle for some items? And
There is a lady that comes in with a satchel full of what looks to be herbs and stuff. She seems like she's just here to get her morning cup of joe.
I greet her in a flamboyant roll of the fingers on the mandolin there, and ask her if she's got anything good that she'd like to part with.
Well, she's a herbalist, as an elven lady, and she usually goes out early in the mornings, out into the woods and collects herbs. I guess early in the day, during during the fog, and that she just basically rolled back in town and noticed that one of the farmhouses was struck. So she's a little, I don't know, disheartened about that. I guess you might have known the folks there.
Oh my goodness, that's terrible. What have you got in the ways of healing salves and such available?
At the moment, I don't have any potions or whatnot, but I do have some bandages that are covered in an ointment that should help, heal wounds.
Can I get a good supply? How many do you have available?
I'd have to get back to my shop and, whip some up. I don't actually carry them on me right now.
What would you sell me some for? Maybe a copper?
Well, probably at least 4 copper apiece.
If you make it 3, I'll buy 20.
That's a deal. So
You wouldn't happen to have a nice bow handy, and maybe a sword?
I don't deal in weapons, just herbs, ointments, oils. Incest? How do you say that?
Incense.
Incense.
I don't think that dealer deals in incest.
Incest, who knows?
So that'd be 6 silver. I give her the 6 silver from my jug, and say, well, I guess I'll see you this evening. I appreciate your service and, making them, and I continue to play a nice jovial tune.
She takes your coin and says, my shop is just right across the street here. Something flowers, whatever you want to call it.
Well, that's wonderful. I shall see you before lunchtime then.
All right. I'll have them ready by then.
So seeing this transaction going on, I kind of get the itch to start moving about the city. So because I'm assuming we've been here for at least a couple.
Yeah, I've been there about maybe an hour and a half or so, and as everyone's waking up, getting about, so we'd say it's about 7:30-ish in the morning. Still early,
But definitely the shops are definitely open.
I just thought, what happens if the roosters made noise to those fucking things? I guess there is no roosters, huh?
There could be roosters, but as long as we're not cawing at nighttime.
They usually call right as the fucking sun's coming up. Or at night.
So I'll kind of pack up my game, my game of cards, and move away and move back towards Octavius and Mad, and kind of poke them towards maybe moving out of the inn and into the city proper.
Alrighty, I gotta go acquire another beverage, so I'll be back in just a second.
All right. Well, then I talked to you about I'm gonna stay here. Maybe I can glean some information, some more from this inn. Told the guy I would, play and bartered for a room with 2 cots and a bedroll for the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could pick up a really nice sword and a longbow and some arrows, maybe some food, that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what the market has to offer, and we'll certainly make a offer towards getting that.
I'll be back.
I also let you know that I made a deal with the healing herb lady. She's gonna make us some healing bandages, and that might help us for a few moments. We might need some water or something like a mirror that we can reflect these themes of big mirrors.
I sit there and kind of scratch my chin. Mirror.
That might be very well the thing. We'll keep an eye out to see. I wonder though, how big of a mirror we would need, or if it would have to be maybe all three.
All these empty jars.
So I kind of turn towards Mad and I kind of gesture to see if he wants to come along or if he's going to be staying.
I think he's probably be following you all. I think he's away from the chair right now.
Yeah, maybe talk to some good merchants about a flat long shield or large shield that he can mount a mirror on. That'll cover our entire body.
A mirror?
Yes.
So you can see yourself?
On the outside.
Oh, on the outside, I see. Cool. Alright, well, the town basically has just about everything you can think of, you know, from tanneries to leatherworkers, ironsmiths and stuff like that. All kinds of arts and crafts and carts and who knows what else. Music shops, you know, even like a day force type thing. What do you call those? A temp agency.
It's temp agency.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a general market area like a market square, or is it mainly just a matter of walking down the streets and finding the shops in various?
Pretty much this whole main street here that we're on is where all the shops are. Off to the side is more residential and other, you know, guilds and stuff like that, libraries, courthouses, and shit like that.
Is there like a mayor or like a lord of the city? I don't know if maybe I could inquire as we're walking in the street about who's mainly in charge of the day-to-day.
Yeah, there is a what do you call them guys? Not really a king, but they rule the area, and they're the ones that stay in the castle. That's up
Where's the castle? Oh, I see
on the
castle.
map a little bit north. There's a little castle there, keep with a second gate and shit.
Well, I need to go find a weaponsmith, and then maybe even a armor smith or a blacksmith of some sort, or a jeweler. I'm not quite sure what would have a large enough.
Yeah, I mean, you can just ask some folks, and you know they'll guide you to whatever shop you want to go to. Just tell me which one you want to head to first.
Yeah, we'll head to the blacksmith, the armor smith and blacksmith.
Alrighty. Just give me a second. The dog's howling here in the background.
Oh, Gwen just wants to play too.
There, she finally shut up.
So, yeah, I'll go to a blacksmith, armor smith first. Just kind of poke my head into the first one that I see. Maybe as I'm walking just down the street towards the main castle.
Yeah, there's several shops here. I don't know any fucking names right now, but there's shops, and one of them is owned by a really chubby dwarf guy. He's kind of behind his what do you call this? A forge, and he's working on some equipment at the moment. The fire's going hot. He has a assistant that's walking around and basically cleaning up the area, you know, dusting off items and stuff.
Hello, my good fellow.
It's like, greetings and well met. What can I do for you?
I wonder, have you been up to speed on everything that's happening with these nighttime issues?
I assume you mean the walkers.
Yes, the walkers.
Yeah, they've been going on for quite some time, but it's not every night. It's every other few nights, I guess you'd say. Whenever the fog rolls in, basically.
when does the fog start to roll in terms of before they start showing up and incinerating people on the street?
Pretty much as soon as the fog rolls in, you can sometimes see their legs kind of poke out of the fog, almost as if they're waiting on the you know waiting for the opportunity to step in.
Do they come from the same direction every time?
Normally from the north, yes.
From across the river?
Yes, from across the river.
I have a question for you, my good man. Would you happen to have, or the ability, or know somebody who has the ability to fabricate a large, metallic, possibly reflective surface?
I mean, a really polished shield.
Kind of like a shield, but I feel like you would need to be larger and not as sturdy as a shield.
I mean, we can fabricate a metal sheet of some sort and polish it really good. Maybe put some handles on it.
So, how much would something along those lines run somebody like me?
What size again? Humanoid.
So DM, can I think back to how large that beam was whenever it fully engulfed that guard? I don't remember if it was stated at the time.
It pulsates because on one of them it just did the guard, on the other one it did like the whole house.
We'll say the size of the guard, so it's about the same size as a
Say like a kite shield or something like that.
So it would need to be able to for a man to fully stand up and kind of cover his entire body.
So like 2 foot by 6 foot or something like that.
Yeah. But what about 6 foot by 6 foot?
6 foot by 6. Jesus. I don't know. Think about it.
All right. Well, while you think about that, do you perhaps have a bow and short sword of reasonable quality?
He has some bows and some crossbows and some swords and daggers and other blades as well. So they're all kind of mounted on the walls as displays and stuff like that. They're really polished, really shiny looking. Look nice.
Hey, Dartavius, you still around?
I'm here.
Did you need you said a short sword, bow, and arrows, and that was it, right?
Sword, a long sword would be best, and a bow and some arrows.
So I'll pick. So I'll kind of point to a long sword, just a regular one-handed sword, and then his kind of a long bow and everything that was requested, and kind of asked for how much it.
All right. The long sword would probably run you about 8 gold. The bow would probably run 12.
Okay. And the arrows, of course, come with the bow, right?
For a gold, we can get you a stack of 20.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so I'll go ahead and grab everything up. So it's a 21 gold.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm still making money.
Mad, since you're back, we're at a blacksmith, right?
Okay.
If you want anything. Perfect.
So 21 gold, and I guess you have the currency for it.
Yeah, I've got 30 right now.
Oh man, baller.
Well, yeah, I kind of won that. No, I don't. I have 20. 2, not 30. I did. So I have just enough.
But you also grabbed 8 gold from me too.
I grabbed 8 gold from him. So I did have 30. So we'll say, yeah, so we'll say 9 gold.
Alrighty. And of course, they come with sleeves and stuff like that and belts, so you can attach them. They're complimentary.
Yep, yep.
Anything else I can do for y'all?
How many times am I going to get to roll for funds? Once during the morning, afternoon, and evening?
Yeah, we'll probably do it like 4 times a day.
Sweet.
So right now we're probably sitting about 8:30ish. Any other equipment, gear, anything like that? Questions?
So Mad's not talking, but he wants to see if the guy can, if Mad can make himself a new Warhammer.
He wants to craft it himself.
Think so.
Okay. Yep, I'm bullshit. No. I'm sure it means badass or something. No, blacksmith. Yeah, most definitely. I'd like to see your work. You can definitely use my forge. Of course, when I'm not using it, it'll be a little bit before I end my morning routine. But if you come back this afternoon, you can have at it.
There's a traveling bar.
Sorry, I stepped away for a moment to get something to drink.
He has raw ore and stuff like that available, wood, leather, and stuff like that too. If you're looking to just purchase the components.
The components and the forge time.
Yeah. Well, I think he'll let you do the forge just so he can see his style. Basically, see if he can learn anything, you know.
Well, all right. I guess I'll leave Mad Twister at the blacksmith.
All right. So it's going to take a few hours, and then you can work on your deal.
That's not a problem. I'm just gonna go wander the city and make small talk and kind of talk to everybody I can, and then kind of see what everybody else wants to do in the meantime, and then we'll come back.
Alrighty. The strongest metal they have is dark steel, but it's very expensive. Probably enough to make a Warhammer. You'd probably need about 2 pounds, 3 pounds of it, and you're probably talking about 300 gold or so.
Cut to Mad just dumping a pouch of gold onto the table.
Near the city, no, but they do have trade caravans that bring in supplies from the west every now and then. He's not expecting anytime soon, but he knows that towards the west there's a mountain range out there that I'm sure you can find mines and stuff like that and other materials.
Well, we'll maybe see what we can figure out along over the terms of the day. Mad, aren't we all?
Uh-huh. Steal a manhole cover, convert it to a Warhammer.
So before I leave, I kind of, and I don't been thinking about this until right now, but since Mad is a blacksmith, do you think that Mad, do you think you could be able to maybe hammer out a large 6 foot by 6 foot thick and sturdy, but it's very reflective and shiny surface that maybe we could use to reflect? might not be able to afford a giant warhammer made of dark steel, but perhaps a reflective surface that we could be able to do. Although maybe the blacksmith will believe him and give him a bunch of dark steel.
What? Oh, I see. Well, as far as the dark steel goes, he has a supply, but he's not gonna part with it without getting paid for it. He's seen people in full plate get, vaporized in the blink of an eye, so he's not too sure how well dark steel will do against it. It's like, you mean my daughters?
You mean my
No.
Well, I'm gonna try to make my way towards the castle, and just try to see if there's anything that I could hear, kind of around the upper class, the upper echelon. Obviously, I might not be able to get into the castle, but at least maybe put my ears to the ground and talk to some people over a couple of games of dice.
All right. The crowd's mixed with high class looking people wearing poofy dresses and people just wearing rags as well. They don't seem to really interact much with each other, but they don't what do you say, they're not skittish from each other, so they walk around. Everyone seems to treat everybody as if they were people. There's not much I guess segregation going on here, just folks minding their own business.
Are there any other races that are seen, like dwarves and elves as well, or halflings, or?
Yeah, you actually see a bunch of other races that you normally don't see in towns. You see what look like gnolls and stuff, all hooded up and walking around the streets as well. You got a few giants here and there that are moving giant crates of something, from building to building. You have these giant, cow-looking, more like yaks. They're just, using as carts and stuff like that. I guess they're not really people. But yeah, there's different races of folks here. No one seems to be worried about them or anything like that. It seems like it's a normal
And the
thing.
general vibe is like nobody seems to really be concerned or bothered.
No, everyone's just doing their own thing. You also see drow walking about, all covered up and stuff, but they're in the area.
Is there like a library, or like a guild of a guild of sorcerers or wizards or some magic users maybe that? So I'll walk up to the closest guard and kind of say, hey, is there any a place of knowledge around this area that maybe people can use from a public?
Yeah, so down in this little section over here, there's cleric guilds, mages and stuff, the different libraries and shit like that of different guilds. The casting ability type. So there definitely is plenty of places.
Okay, I'll just make my way back down towards the inn. Stop by the blacksmith and check on Mad and see how.
Alright, well, Mad's going to require to purchase the materials for the Warhammer. Normally the Warhammer would go for about 12 gold. For the materials, he'll just sell them to you at 4 gold. It'll take you about maybe half a day to forge it. And you'll need to roll 2 successes on your intelligence with a +10 modifier. 4.
Well, so asking, kind of talking to the blacksmith as well about, and also talking with Mad. Does it seem like they think that it would be a feasible thing for what these creatures can do versus what metal can reflect or kind of stand with heat. You know, good blacksmith. I wonder, have you seen these creatures in action?
Oh yes, the first night there was a big battle that was done in the courtyard there in front of the castle. Basically, it sent out a lot of guards, and these things just emerged and lay waste to them.
So you've seen their firepower, for lack of a better.
They have these tentacles that they swing from side to side. They can cause a lot of damage, and that red beam is devastating.
So do you think if a large and maybe reflective surface was constructed, that would be able to circumvent or redirect their?
Perhaps if it was a short burst, you might be okay, but those things put out a lot of heat. I mean, it's possible that the metal will just melt.
That's a good point. Well, we'll take that into consideration, good sir.
If we can reflect the little targeting light or whatever that little red light is first, then it doesn't stop it from being targeted to the other one. And maybe
Yeah, perhaps.
Well, so I'll just kind of keep that information in my back pocket as I check with, you know. And then make my way back down towards the inn. As I kind of, I guess I need to stop by that herb.
I just put some scorch marks here and there where shit's been vaporized.
All right, so Matt, did you succeed on your check?
He has one success and one failure, so it's going to take you an additional 2 more gold and probably another 2 more hours. So by the end of the day, you should have it completed.
So as I get back to the, so I stop in at the herbalist and get his. How much was it? It was like 4 copper per or something like that.
I think it was 16 silver, wasn't it?
it's 6 silver,
Oh, 6.
20 healing set.
Yep.
All right, so I go ahead and pay that out, and then
She hands a little rolled up bundle of these bandages with this ointment, and basically these do 1d4 healing over a period of 2 hours.
all right.
Now there are potion vendors as well that do have more instant healing, but they also cause you to basically kind of go into a drunken state, so you can lose your proficiency in some of your skills. You know.
No, I'm just getting what was ordered. But I will remember what's being on sale, and I will relay it to people who might want to know. So you said, I'm sorry, you said it was 16 copper. I was making adjustments in my inventory to put the stuff in.
I already paid.
Yeah, I think he already paid for the stuff.
Oh, already paid for it. Okay, cool.
I has to go peepees.
Go peepees. All right, so
Peepees.
as I enter back into the inn, and I sidle up there, wait for a break in the song.
What's up?
Sorry, I'm also eating a salad. So, learned anything interesting in the few hours we... Now, unfortunately, DMC are not here right now, so I'm kind of exchanging information and also, you know, I think that there'd be a lot of people who seem to be too. They just don't seem to care. It's like a part of their life now. You know, there's a pervading atmosphere of life is normal, even though every night or every other night there's this overwhelming fear of death from my perspective.
Alrighty, I'm back.
That has been pretty slow here. I just pulled in. Wait a minute, I gotta re-roll it.
I gotta reroll it 3 more times, the D10. There you go.
Yeah, it's been pretty good here. I pulled in 2.7 gold. And I hand him that too.
I pull out his bow and his long sword, and I kind of say, "You do still owe me a fair bit of coin, but we'll let that."
It's like the most generous rogue. What?
So I'll kind of retail the conversation with the blacksmith, and that Matt is currently forging a warhammer to assist in the slaying of the creatures. But Octavius, I don't really think that a large reflective surface is gonna do it, unless it's extremely thick. I mean, talking with the blacksmith, it seems like he says these things can take up the space of an entire house, and it's not exactly a short burst.
That definitely is something to think about.
Was there anything that you learned during the day as well that could perhaps lead some more information to what's going on?
Steve, with as much change as I did for the second roll for the day, did I need any more information? That's pretty hefty.
Yeah, basically, about almost 2.5 months ago, before these things showed up, there was a big streak of green light that kind of shot across the sky and landed somewhere in the north, where it made a big flash. A group of people went out there to go investigate and see what they can find, and when they returned, they had nothing to show. They said they didn't find anything at the impact site. It was a few weeks later when those things started to come in with the fog. Before then, they had fog, but it was a real light fog. It come from the river, but this fog is something different. It seems like it's not natural.
Interesting.
The folks were led by one of the lieutenants of the guard from the house there, from the castle place, but unfortunately he was one of the guys that was vaporized with the first attack.
So, gentlemen, what do you say about a bit of a reconnaissance mission? If these things might have showed up shortly after this strange green streak, perhaps the next time they come, we're waiting for them and we can see the direction from which they come. Maybe they're hiding somehow during...
Yeah, we'd have to do that. Some reconnaissance for this night, and then tomorrow we can maybe find somebody to follow their track.
We don't know if they're going to show up tonight, right? They don't always show up every night. Did you happen to learn how far those people went up towards the north, or if it was a day's journey or a 2 days?
I haven't been able to do that yet. We're still, to me, it's still about midday, just before midday. So people for their midday lunch that come to this tavern, that will be my next role.
So, upon talking to a couple guards in the square, would there be any interest from you in perhaps a house of knowledge or clerics guild, perhaps a public library that I could go to and kind of try to gather any?
Well, if we can glean some more information today, find out their stuff, and then do some reconnaissance if they show up tonight, I think we'll be probably in better shape to do some stuff tomorrow. And tomorrow, I think I'll try to up the ante and try to do people's divinations to maybe get some more information from them, maybe get some insight into these other things some more. But I can't do it again, or I suppose I could, but I don't think I get anything more today from what we gleaned earlier this morning with how they stalked the city.
All right, I think I might go seek out this house of cleric, and check back on Matt, see how he's coming along with his Warhammer of the Age.
Okay, and I play on.
So I'll go ahead and move up towards that cleric's guild, since that seemed to be the closest that was pointed out by the was it cleric's guild, Steve, or was it a druid?
There's a cleric's guild. There's a mage tower or mage school, and druids not really in the city. They kind of like more of being the outskirts.
I'll go to the magic school, the mage school, and see if I can get an audience.
Alright. No, he didn't drop 300 gold. He doesn't have 300 gold to drop on the metal. So this is regular iron Warhammer. And
that was Cliff being like, drop 300 gold.
It would have been nice to get drop 300 gold, but he didn't have 300 gold. And as far as Matt Toaster, he's still working on his Warhammer there. We'll give him a chance to get an actual +1 on this thing here. If he can roll me 2 intelligence in a row and make them both, we'll give him +1 on that for a D6 +1 on the weapon. If he's around. Oh, guess not. Well, just
Said I distract him when he smashes his thumb.
Yeah, you walk in, hey, like a fuck. So just a normal 1d6 Warhammer.
So I'll kind of continue on. I'll sheepishly back out of it as I distract his concentration and kind of continue on to the mage.
All right, the mage tower or the mage school there. You can see people walking around. It's kind of reminds you of a little Hogsworth type thing, where people walking around in little uniforms and school attire, as if they're going to class and stuff. There's also an interesting.
Anybody wearing his schoolgirl outfits?
Not per se, but sure, why not? Fuck it.
This is important, Steve.
What kind of? I don't know, man. This is where shit gets weird.
All right, so
Catholic schoolgirl outfits. I don't know, shit.
All I'm saying is I want to drow in a Catholic schoolgirl outfit.
Done.
I give up on this quest. And seek the drow in the schoolgirl outfit.
We'll give her a tail too. Why not?
Yes. All right. Anyways, so Sorry, continue.
All right.
So mage school. So I'm just gonna. Are there guards or are there?
There's not really guards, but there's like instructors that are fully robed up and stuff, and you can tell that they're not students. They kind of like walk the area, and kind of police it, tell people don't running, shit like that. One of the things you notice here is there's a lot more little people walking around. Not technically humans, not halflings, but a little bit thinner, bigger heads, kind of I guess you'd say gnomes. They're not typically seen in the areas around here. It's Warhammer.
Are there any professors?
There are some professors walking here and about. They got their little witch hat.
If I can find a gnomish professor, I will go ahead and try to speak to them, hail them, and say, hey, hail! I'm new to this area. I was wondering if you had.
Greetings. I'm Professor Fart Sparkles.
Fart Sparkles of the House Sparkle.
Yes. What can I do for you?
Hold on, I'm spilling salad.
Blah.
So I was wondering, my companions and I, we arrived into town last night at a most inopportune moment. You're probably aware of the troubles and the trials the town's going.
Yes. We're aware of them.
And one of the things that one of my compatriots heard and overheard was that apparently a few months ago there was a green streak or a green light.
Yes, some sort of meteor, we suspect.
And was there any thought between the coincidence or the fact that this green meteor shoots through the sky, and then a few weeks later, here comes these death machines from the unknown?
Well, we saw the green light, and we assumed it was probably some magnesium-rich meteor, and really thought nothing about it. We know we sent some people out to go investigate. We sent one of our, gifted students along with a contingent of guards up to the north to go and investigate. But when they came back, they said they didn't find nothing. They said the impact site was bare and empty, just a giant crater.
So it was not thought that perhaps something that landed in this crater then left the crater?
They said they did a thorough search, and our student did a check for any kind of magical sense or to sense a motive. They couldn't sense anything in the area.
Do you perhaps know the location of the student currently?
Yeah,
Maybe I could ask him some questions.
he's in class right now, but we can definitely get you in touch with him.
Okay. Have you seen these creatures at work?
He kind of raises his hand and starts waving it around, and he produces basically a cloud with an image of the creature, which I guess you guys already have it on your screen there. So of that walker thing. So basically, he shows you the Sentinel image. He's like, "Yeah, we've seen them. We've done thorough studies of it, and we have no idea what the hell they are."
And their weaponry, their way of attack, it seems to be thermal in nature.
They seem to be by pure sight and sound. They seem mechanical in nature. Of nature, whatever you call it, mechanical. That's what the grinding metal sound is.
Do you know of any empire or peoples that could create such a mechanism?
I mean, I know about clockwork, mechanics and stuff, but I've never seen anything of this design, of this magnitude.
Has there been any thoughts about applying bright lights or some type of spell to dispel the darkness momentarily around them while they're facilitating their movement?
We used a darkness spell that basically blackens everything where you can't even see your hand in front of you, and their light seemed to cut right through it, like as if it was nothing.
Perhaps the other direction. Maybe instead of making it dark, making it light.
Brighter? We have not tried that.
Would there...
We did attempt to attack these things with some magic missiles and other spells that seemed to have no effect. Almost as if a barrier of air was surrounding the thing, repelling stuff.
Would there perhaps be a student or some type of scroll that could enact such a spell to make things as bright as day with it?
Like a solar flare? Okay, Krillin. We can probably whip something up.
Third eye, I don't know.
We can probably put something together and come up with a spell for you. One time you scroll or something, you know?
I kind of pat my pockets and I say, you understand that a traveler, road warrior as me who comes into the situation might not be as financially forward as somebody who is a professor of magic in the arcane arts at a prestigious university and of the House Fart Sparkle.
He pulls out his hand and kind of like jiggles his fingers, and a pair of six-sided dice appear. And it's like, "Are you a gambling man, sir?"
I use my skill of sleight of hand or palm object to kind of quickly produce my dice, and I say, I've been known to roll bone.
All right. A quick game of 7-Eleven.
Sure. 7-Eleven. I know it well. I go there. I mean, I play that often.
All right.
So we clear a space. We're fine to find a table for dice and so in my inventory I have a pair of loaded die. Where they always roll sixes, so they're essentially they're a loaded die. So if the rules of 7-Eleven include rolling sixes to win, well, I'm down for it.
Pairs and stuff, yeah. Do you have anything to barter with? And he basically will produce a spell for you free of charge if you can win this game.
What would be of similar? What would such a spell cost of similar?
Oh, not much. Maybe 10 gold.
That's like cough. Yeah. Yes, not much. 10 gold. Perhaps a talented and fastidiously dressed musician by the name of Dartavius could come to your school and perform for your students, something to lighten the mood in such trying.
And y'all didn't put any trappings on yourselves, did you?
Trappings?
Yeah. I guess you didn't get anything with your job?
No, I did. That's why I have my loaded dice and my paradise loaded dice pack a card.
Did you read
I have my trappings.
Did you read the other trapping part of the character creation?
No.
Yeah, there's a thing where it gives you kind of stuff too. That's where you get your gold and all that from.
That's what, yeah. I have
Okay,
it.
you got that. Okay,
gold,
yeah.
I used all of it.
All
to
right.
Buy things.
Oh, good. He says, I can really use a silver shovel if you can acquire one.
Silver shovel. How about such a deal that if I do not win, I work towards obtaining you a silver shovel? I do not have one now, but I might know of a way to work this out with a well-versed and skilled blacksmith.
Sounds fair enough. Alrighty, you want to roll dex, luck, or not luck, but coolness?
So, let's see. So if it's dex, my dex is my higher skill.
The fuck was that? Sorry, I did the wrong dice.
So are we just rolling the skill?
Yeah, I mean, you said you got loaded dice, right? So you're gonna go for a pair of sixes.
So, okay. Um, how do I do this as a? So I just roll a percentage.
You can go to your. Yeah, you can do that. Boom, crit. You got it.
Hey, crit! I got it. We'll s- we'll say that works.
All right. Whatever that roll was for, he's like, oh man, you're pretty good. I didn't even see you do what you did there.
Yeah, it's certainly. Some people say I'm lucky and born in such a way.
He hands you. Well, he says we'll produce the scroll and you can come pick it up later this afternoon. In the meanwhile, here, take this small seal with you. It's basically like a little stamp you use for waxing stuff, and it actually has your initials on it.
Oh, thank you kindly, Sir Fart Sparkle. Sorry. When might I be able to return and speak to this student who went on the foray into the?
He'll be available in maybe about 5-10 minutes from now. If you just want to wait here in the courtyard, I'll bring him to you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And as far as the spell, it'll be ready about maybe, when it starts getting dark. What's that? Six-ish? If you had a clock.
Yes, I have the sun.
Alrighty. So a few minutes later, the professor comes back with this what looks like a red devil-looking child. Excuse me. He's a tiefling. He has a red
male tiefling?
a male tiefling. Yes, a little bit rare to see.
Why you do this to me?
You want? Yeah. Okay. What do you want to put him in a skirt too?
Yo, fuck it, let's go.
He's got little shorts on there.
As he approaches, I bow to him, and I say, I see that your professor was so humbly able to bring you to me. I appreciate it, sir, and I kind of prompt him for his name.
All right. So did you shake hands with him?
No, I bowed.
Oh, you bowed. Oh, okay. He bows in same and kind of does a little smirk at you, and his smiles is like, "My name's Charlie. What can I do for you?"
Ah, Charlie of House Lee. It's so good to meet you. So your professor tells me that you went beyond the river to the north and took part of a investigation of this green light that came back a few months ago, and a number of weeks before these walkers.
You notice he has a slight twitch on his face, kind of just like reacting to something, almost like if a bug was on his face or something. He's trying to answer your question, but he's kind of distracted by this. I was like, yeah, about 3 months ago or so. Yeah, I went with the platoon, the patrol.
Can I make like a I guess there's no perception, so to speak, but is there? Can I get anything from that if I'm?
Let's see. You can try to roll a fellowship or willpower. I guess intelligence would be. See, that's the thing. There's not enough skills here.
There's a lot of skills. It's just a matter of
what to roll to make sense. Yeah.
What is the? I guess we can look at it later. But I say, like, what is the definition of like fellowship? I know fellowship is like your ability to interact with people in a group.
Fellowship is how well they like you and kind of obey or follow. Kind of like I guess that's leadership. But this is how well people per se. I mean, we can click the thingy, and I can bring that thing up. Let's see. I keep clicking the wrong share button. There it is, fellowship.
Yeah, social skills, appearance, ability to empathize, sympathize, and generally get along with people. Okay. Yeah, so we'll also be able to obtain information from others by carefully steering a conversation. Characters with low fellowship, however, have an amazing talent for saying just the wrong thing. So, so if I try to kind of steer this if I try to kind of steer this conversation into something for him, for me to find out what that twitch might have been from, if it was related to the conversation, or maybe maybe dude's just got a Tourette's twitch.
I mean, you can just roll your fellowship and see. You can point it out.
Nope.
No.
But I'm lucky, so that's actually a third. Nope.
No, it's
37.
still not.
Still no.
All right. His voice starts going into a higher pitch. Doesn't sound right. Kind of like adolescence happening in front of you.
Is the professor still there?
Kind of, and he's just kind of giggling. And finally, the student's like, I can't do this anymore, and he just shakes his head and he dispels his cast illusion that he had on himself. And now we can go with the schoolgirl outfit.
My eyes, they widen, and I say, perhaps you would like to discuss this over a drink. Are you?
You're 18, right?
You drink, right?
And, she's like, oh, sorry for the deception. I just wanted to try this out, see if it was convincing, but I failed.
my dear, it was most convincing. Trust me, you had me completely.
The professor walks away and goes. He tells him something about. Remember, we got this thing at 8:00 or some shit. And he walks off.
What time is it right now? Like 6 o'clock or something like that?
I think you're sitting around 3 or so.
Oh, okay. So, my dear, how would you like to go see one of the most marvelous musicians the country has? The great Dartavius.
That sounds fantastic, but I still got classes I need to attend to. But what did you want to ask about the thing, Majig, with the light and stuff?
So, one of the things, right, is you went north of the river, and you researched or explored the areas that this green light came through. Was there anything abnormal other than the fact that there was a giant?
Well, actually, the impact site was fairly small. For the amount of light that we saw, we figured it'd be a much larger crater, but the impact site was only about the size of a cart. We figured that whatever it was basically burned up and then shattered into dust when it made impact.
Huh.
We took soil samples and brought them in, and nothing's been detected in it.
Was there any type of debris or damage to any of the flora of the environment?
No,
Trees knocked over or
nothing like that. Just an impact site, just a hole in the ground.
Once you got to did you searched around the area for things like tracks and things like that? There was nothing that matched the markings of the foot patterns of these current entities.
When we first approached it, I stayed in the back while the guards went up ahead to check. They were up there for about a few minutes, maybe 10 or so minutes, searching around the area before they said it was safe for me to come out there. But that's about it. Yeah, not much.
And as your professor stated, you didn't detect any magic?
No magic whatsoever.
What is your take on these entities? My dear, and I kind of prompt her for her name again, Charlie.
Oh yeah, since it's no longer Charles or Charlie. Chelsea.
Chelsea. So what do you think about these creatures?
Honestly, I think they're looking for something. It's something that should have been in that hole, but wasn't there when we got there.
What guards went with you?
She gives you a list of like 4 guards and a lieutenant from the castle there.
Interesting. Well, my dear Chelsea, you have been the most delightful, and And if there is anything that you wish in this world, I guarantee you can be found at the Upright Pig Inn. There is, as I said, a most wonderful musician who is there to sing the contentness of his fellow elf.
I'll keep that in mind.
And I give her a silver.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you for the information. It has been most helpful.
Takes the silver, kind of pats you on the cheek, and then kind of poofs away into a log.
All right, so I'm gonna head back now to the inn. And when I get back, I'm gonna stop in and check on Mad Toaster and see how he's doing on his war axe or his warhammer.
Yeah, make it a warhammer made of axe instead. Well, he's finished with his weapon, and it's a beautiful weapon. It looks like a fucking eagle on a end of a stick.
All right, Jeremy. We need you to draw a picture of what this warhammer is gonna look like.
Actually, on the map, I think y'all can draw.
Oh, did you enable it?
I think it's enabled for everybody. You just gotta right click, go to drawing, and then you can do shit, I think. Alright, there's as you're walking back, there's a few there's a guy walking around saying, all clear tonight, and as he's waving off people and letting them know that not to expect anything evil tonight.
So I guess it is pretty much every other night that it's definitely a schedule of every other.
There you go, got a pair of sack down there.
It was supposed to be some tits, but I couldn't draw the other nipple really very.
It's random. The seer could probably try to roll to see if something does show up. If you want to.
So it's random.
Yeah, it's random.
So I'm gonna walk up to this crier and say, "Crier, how do you know? It's all clear tonight."
The great sage, he consulted his divination pool, and he saw that it was a clear night tonight.
Who is the sage, good sir?
He's the dude that's over there in that nice building.
The one I just came from, or is it the?
No, he's somewhere else. He's like at some kind of church thing.
I asked for the name of this great sage. Guard, what is the name of this great and powerful sage who is able to divine such pertinent information?
You can make up a name for him if you like. He kind of points you where he's supposed to be at. Let's see. Yonders.
I'll just make a note of it and keep it in the back. So okay, I'll I actually is this guy a guard or is he just a town crier?
He's just the crier guy, just walking around like kind of people that tells you about news and stuff. So he's going around and just shouting it out and basically comforting people, let them know that it's okay at night.
All right, I'll go ahead then and head back to the tavern. And I actually need to go use the restroom.
Mm-hmm. I like that War Axe, Warhammer.
Right on. Alright. Yeah, I rolled for the third roll already. It's on the chat. And then I thought you meant you wanted me to roll to see if these people were going to.
Oh, to give you more insight?
Yeah, but I failed.
Well, just the regular gossip. You hear some more tales, or it sounds like a lot of things are being taken in the middle of the night and even during the day. So there seems to be a lot of thievery going on. So just a little gossip like that you hear.
Okay.
So as I stride back in, I immediately go to the restroom inside the bar or inside the inn.
Alrighty.
I start thinking about Drow. I'm not joking.
Drown. Mad, did you need anything or?
he has his weapon name. I just noticed.
Mm-hmm. Horny hammer of discombobulation. Just my hammer. Nice. Did you want to sell any old weapons or anything? Alrighty.
So I'll go ahead and sidle up to Dart and kind of retell the tale of the day. Pull out this list of guard names and kind of mention that I think it's rather important that this drow seems to had a point of thinking that they were looking for something, and she was not with these guards as they first approached the site. I'm wondering if somebody took something they should not have.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I couldn't glean anything aside from that there's a high thievery rate pretty much around here. But
I look askance. A thievery rate?
For shame.
One other item of importance that there appears to be a great sage in this town that is giving the divination of whether or not the creatures will return the night. Which I thought it was maybe every other night as a pattern, but it seems like this is something that is random and is just divined from the essence of the world.
It is pretty interesting.
Perhaps we should make our way over there at some point tomorrow or this evening to see if there is anything else we can.
Yeah, let's do that. And I will try to put a burr in the side of this great sage and offer divinations as well tonight.
Yes. About what time is it right now?
We're fixing around 7 o'clock. And Matt's probably with you all at this point. All right. One of the guys at the bar kind of stands up and starts patting himself and is like, God damn it. I must have forgot my coin purse. You mind getting this, buddy? And he's like patting his bud that's sitting next to him. He's like, yeah, I'll got you drinks for tonight.
Was there anything that was there anybody around him earlier that I saw? Maybe somebody reached his coin.
You can roll an intelligence to see, or if you want to use a coolness. Actually, it'll just be intelligence.
I actually just realized that I have my intelligence incorrect.
It should be 40 something. Yeah.
It should be 41, not okay, hold on. I need to fix a couple things.
Then you just double click the 41 and roll it. Your fellowship should be 26.
36, because it's 26 plus 10.
Right, but did you purchase that one? You see
I asked if you fixed it.
I think I missed that one.
Alright, hold on.
Because the ones I fixed have that number underneath it. The little checkbox with a 1 or 2.
Oh, okay. Okay, I did not see that. Okay, good to know. Alright, so, also, all of my intelligence rolls previously have been incorrect because I've been rolling them too low. It's alright. So, 6.
You think you saw what looked like a shadow kind of brush against the guy earlier. And it was something shadowy.
I kind of lean over towards Dartavius. I want to keep wanting to go D'Artagnan, and it's not what it is. Dartavius. I lean towards Dartavius and Mad, and I say, "Be sure to watch your coin purse in here this evening. I feel there might be something shadowy here." And I kind of readjust my coin purse so it's closer to my body.
I say, okay, and then in a louder voice, after he gets done saying that, I tell him that, his adventures tomorrow are going to be superb and that he will get lucky with the girl he's been thinking about. So says the bone.
To the guy who got his thing pinched.
Yeah, I hope it's not to me. I'm just gonna look at you like, what?
Yep.
All right.
Maybe he gave you all his coin, doesn't remember. Well, I'm just gonna kind of do the same thing I did previously, which is make my way around the tavern and listen to gossip and maybe buy some food and
play
a game or two of dice or cards.
You say
not really for money right now. I'm just gonna try to play for mood.
Gotcha. You find a few gentlemen that don't mind, playing a game with you, so you want to roll some dice with them. It's all good with them. You can hear that they're also talking about the increase of items being snatched lately has gone up. And
Is it petty theft?
for the most part, it's usually something small, tiny that can something you wouldn't notice. Maybe a dagger might be the largest thing ever taken.
As I'm playing, I'm just kind of passively keeping an eye out for any glimpse of the thing I saw previously.
Yeah, one of the guys telling a story of how a ring on his hand or his finger just vanished from one moment to the next, and he didn't feel a thing.
Okay. I'm just gonna kind of sit back and observe for the rest of the evening, and maybe just keep an eye out for anything that's suspicious or
Okay. I guess go ahead and do an intelligence roll.
Oh.
All right. You catch a glimpse of this shadowy figure rush out the door of the inn. It's fairly small, about maybe the size of a cat or something like that.
Am I able to follow it?
You were sitting down at the game with these other fellers, so you just saw this thing out of the corner of your eye just dart out the door.
Did like the door open and close, or?
Nope, it kind of just went through the cracks like a shadow.
Okay.
All right. Hey, I'm announcing that I'm going to be doing some bone readings for people who would like to, pay me a gold or, 9 silver per reading, and that I'll continue to play in between.
All right, go to roll a d8, and that's how many folks would like to have their tones told. So 5. So 5 gold, and you can tell these folks whatever you like.
Well, he doesn't tell them whatever he likes.
Whoa.
He tells them their future.
So it looks like I'm successful in telling these dudes, and I tell them stuff that I've gleaned from them as they sat in the bar, and that tomorrow will be successful, especially if they have information on these beasts that haunt the evenings and where to find them.
Ah, you talking about the walkers?
That's those walkers.
Um, let's see. One of them mentions that there was a footstep off in the slums where there's a blackish liquid was left behind by one of these walkers a few nights ago. It's almost as if it stepped on something and injured itself. But no one's done anything about it.
Excellent. Your tomorrow will be exceptionally bright because of the information.
I silently mouth to Dartavius. Tell them they're gonna die.
Oh shit! I gotta leave town now. Alrighty. Anything else? Anyone else wants to do? It's probably about what, 8, 9 o'clock now. Let's see. You wanted to pursue the shadow thing.
Well, I mean, nighttime and
Shadow.
trying to pursue something of a shadow is not going to be something that's going to be easy to.
Right. Arm wrestling contest. All right.
Yo, Matt, I guarantee you can make some money on an arm wrestling contest.
Yeah. We'll give you a D6 versus people, and each one you win, just roll strength. Make below your strength with a D10, and you win it, and you get a gold for it. So, possible 6 gold. And tonight the crowd in the bar is a lot more lively. There's more people coming in and out. It seems like there's no more sitting room. Everyone's standing and listening to the music and having a great old time. You can see that everyone's a little bit more happier this evening than what they were, in the early mornings.
Nice.
I give Phallus there his last 2.3 gold, and say,
Did you call me phallus again?
Uh-huh. Call it Jimmy Phallus.
Guys, well, no, it's not phallus. It's like the riches of a palace. The riches of a palace.
Isn't there a C in that?
It's phonetically correct.
So is Phallus.
Shut up. There's
All
no
right.
PH. There's no F.
Gotta take a leak real quick.
you do the double L is a Y thing, would be
Pious. I'll give you pious. Like a preacher. So I'm wondering if it's my fingers are starting to twitch. You're only 4 strength? Double click your strength modifier. Yeah, see, look, you're fine. Look, I'll take the first 2 all day, okay? Those 2 crits. Steve,
it's supposed to be
What's
one
up?
die.
What's up?
Mad got 2 crits in a row.
Oh, nice. Fucking broke people's arms and shit. You get 2 extra hands. You just rip their arms off.
So, can you change your strength and toughness to 1 die 10 instead of a percentage?
The thing is, when you double click it, it doesn't do a 1d10?
That's percentage.
Oh, that's weird.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I guess you just need to roll d10. I have to mess with the profile code. It's bullshit XML document. But I'll take a look at it later. Yeah, I didn't write this character sheet. Someone else did, and they're a pain in the ass to write.
We're going off of, I think, second and third version.
Yeah, this is second version. Or second edition. Alrighty. Well, we're getting here about 8:40 or so, and I know John still needs to drive back and stuff. So
Yeah, it's a good point.
everyone's good here for a stopping point.
Yeah, I think finish out the night in the tavern and have it so that we're willing to pick up the next day. It's gonna be the next opportunity to get up and see what's going on.
Alrighty. So you got the lead of 4 guards' names. The lieutenant got vaporized, and well, you already met the drow student. As far as names go, I'll have to make those up for you later. I don't have those right now.
Homeboy, just get like a random name generator up on another tab.
Boom. Yeah, I know, right?
So I'm just gonna make an inventory item with note with guard names.
Mm-hmm. The little halfling is also still at this inn as well. She seems like she came back here after doing a days of trading or whatever the hell she does.
Octavius, did you get your healing salves in your inventory?
They're in.
Alright, cool.
Question mark. Unknown roll.
Is that what that does?
Unroll. It means that no one else can see it but me and you, I think.
Okay. I was trying to figure out what this little dice tower looking thing is.
Yeah.
That's what it does. It makes an unknown roll. Well, I can't even see it.
Okay,
I
so
realized that.
yeah, so only the GM can see it. This is how you make anonymous rolls, and I'll tell you what the hell happens.
Okay. So apparently, by the way, I need to do that for my luck skill. It's like every day you're supposed to roll a d4 or something like that, or some d6, and it's only that number of times. And I'm not supposed to know what it is.
Oh, it's how many times you can use luck and get a.
Yeah. So add one to can only be there was something in the for it where like the DM has to roll a dice, and that will set how many times a player can use it a day, and I'm not supposed to know what it is until I try to use it, and it's no longer there.
Gotcha. All right, that's pretty neat.
Okay.
Didn't know that. Alrighty, cool.
Ooh, nice. Matt Toasters. Look, you could have used it on your rolls earlier.
Yeah.
That's
And your shadowy creature thing kind of looks like a giant rat,
Ooh, shadow rat.
but the size of a cat.
Shadow rat cat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shadowy wear red.
Shenane.
Alright, y'all. Well, good game.
All right. Well,
First session.
hopefully it was interesting.
No, absolutely. Little bit of intrigue.
Alrighty.
Now, here's the thing: do we want to go ahead and plan for something else later on this week, or do we want to just wait for the next weekend and say, Saturday at X time?
Up to you all. You guys know your schedules more than I do. I mean, I'm good for just about any day and weekends, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, my evenings as well. I usually study, but I mean, I can always take off from work and study for only a couple hours instead of like
Well,
normal.
if we keep the session short, like an hour or 2 hours, I mean, I think we'll be fine with most folks.
Yeah. Chad, anything work for you as time wise? Is like pretty much the weekend or the weekday? No.
Yeah, my schedule is changing to different time frames, so I really won't know until we get back to work.
Yeah.
Well, when you get back, let us know. And if we can work some out during the week, then that'd be great. If not, then we'll try it on like a Saturday or something like that, or something.
Yeah, that sounds good, man.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get packed up and get ready to go and get back over to the house. So appreciate you guys. It was a fun camp.
All right. Well, you all have a good one.
Thanks, guys. You too.
All right. Later.
Did we get any experience points for killing a bunch of guards?
Not at the moment. We're going to do the experience points at the end of the session or halfway through the session.
Yeah, sounds great.
But I like your style. Alrighty. Alrighty. I'm disconnecting from you. Okay. Y'all have a good one.